From Perk 3000, which I think is that Alexander Pierce in his profile picture? I'm not sure. Super excited to see what Pickkins can do this year, hoping he was the missing piece the Cowboys offense needed. Thanks for the great coverage, Tom. Thank you very much, Perk 3000. Feels like something criminal, but it's fine. I am on field super optimistic about the status of George Pickens. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be really good. I do worry a little bit about the status of like the character stuff, the non-football stuff. But if it can't be work with Mike Tomlin or Dak Prescott, it's a him problem. I do think his fit personnel-wise in the passing game is exactly what they needed. Speaking of George Pickens, every $5 super thanks gets you in to our George Pickens jersey raffle. So send in that $5 super thanks, and you'll be entered into the raffle. From Austin Carey, a.k.a. Bikers and Barbecue, thanks. What about drafting a QB and let him sit behind Dak for a while? Some of what other QBs did. Let Dak hit the open market after that. Like Jordan Love, for example. Is that a possibility? I've always liked the idea of sitting rookie QBs for a season or two. Help with the development of so many guys. Doesn't have to be Arch Manning. So, in general, I think what you're really acknowledging is having a plan of we have a guy we're teaching, we're developing, we're letting learn. We don't have to play him right now. And in 2 years, for example, we're letting the quarterback go and replacing him. And I would even argue in a bubble, that's the ideal scenario. Now, you can also argue, in this particular case, the Packers taking Jordan Love in round 1, if they drafted a wide receiver instead, could that have put them over the top? But for the Cowboys, a team that never, kind of like Green Bay, never wants to be overly all in for a given season, that does make sense. And I do think if you can time it up properly, the timing is not right now. The timing is probably in 2 years. Whether it's round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, if Joe Milton doesn't work, drafting the developmental, maybe he's the future QB, is actually a sound decision. And given the age and injury history of Dak Prescott, we're kind of in the you need to start thinking about it strategy. Maybe that's Joe Milton. Maybe it's not. But I think that overall philosophy is a sound one. From Strive365, enjoy the daily shows. Thank you. 2 questions. How old will Olivia, my daughter, be when Dallas finally makes an NFC championship? Question 2, what would the narrative be around Dallas if they continually fell short after acquiring major free agents like Baltimore? So I'll go in reverse order here. For the free agent side, I think the player narrative would be pretty similar. Dak can't deliver. Dak can't win the big game. That Micah doesn't show up. And I think that those player narratives would actually be more accurate. In the same way that it might be more accurate for like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson when they haven't delivered the same way, although they play in the AFC and Mahomes is a big factor there. I think that the narrative around ownership would be much better. Instead of me and so many of us blaming the Jones boys, you'd be like, they've tried things. Not their fault. Players, coaches probably get more of the blame in this scenario. As for how old will Olivia be, I hope not soon. Or hope not old. I hope soon, not old. I am scared, though, of the actual answer. Like, I don't think it's this season. The way the money sets up, next year should be an aggressive year for them. But it's the Cowboys, and to point 2, they're not very aggressive. So, scary prediction time. How many more years until the Cowboys win a Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. From Wendell, a.k.a. Manny Palmer, says Donovan Ezeiruaku is Micah Parsons 2.0. So for starters, I want to emphasize I am extremely excited about that Boston College edge rusher. I did not think that he was going to make it to the Cowboys in round 2. If you had given me if we had done mailbag questions in March, like, what about Ezeiruaku in round 2? My answer would have been, well, absolutely, but he's not going to be there. He's going to go mid-early round 1. I never really thought that was a viable option. Because I had him as my number 5 edge in the class. He was an early second-round grade for me. With that said, as hyped as I am, I don't think we should ever assign Micah Parsons expectations to a player, especially an early second-round pick. Like, Micah Parsons is off to a generational start. And I hate that word, but it's true. There's 5 guys in ever who have put up the production through his first 4 years that Micah Parsons has. Don't put that level of hope on Ezeiruaku because the outcomes are very minimal. But if he becomes a 10-sack guy, that's not Micah. That's a home run second-round pick. From Luke Smith, the Week 1 cornerback room is a little dicey. Thoughts on Bland, Elam on the outside, Izzy in the nickel. Then, once Diggs or Revel get healthy, Bland kicks inside. Wondering if that would be our best 3 scenario come Week 1. So, my thoughts are, that's what I had originally. Originally, going pre-OTA's minicamp, I had thought Elam on the outside, Bland on the outside, and Izzy in the nickel, and then kick Bland inside once Diggs or Revel got healthy. Seems like so far at OTAs, it's Bland at the nickel, Elam on the outside, Izzy, some Kalen Carson, some Andrew Booth on the outside, and then those guys get benched with Elam once Diggs and or Revel get healthy. It's kind of, to an extent, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I think the worst outcome and best outcome is still Bland at nickel. I think I would lean towards Izzy over Carson and Booth, but I agree that Week 1 cornerback room it's dicey because also 3rd round rookie on for torn ACL is not a bet you normally want to make at the cornerback room in Week 1. It's a tough match because A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Let's just be honest. So what is your confidence level in the cornerback room? Scale 1 to 10 in the comments of today's show. Mighty Ants! In my honest opinion, the Cowboys suck at rehabbing injuries. Steele, Diggs, Gallup, etc. all took time to get back. But they didn't get back to form, just saying. So I get where you're coming from. Steele did come back insanely fast. Hasn't been the same guy. Diggs, if you ask the Cowboys, they blame Diggs. There's some dispute over that between Diggs and the Cowboys camp. Gallup has never been the same guy. You're banking on, Sam Williams getting healthy. Overshown came back, got hurt again. Dak's come back, though. I don't know how many et ceteras there are. I think this has been a failure on my part. I have overstated how easy it is to come back from, ACL tears. There's a lot of other bumps and bruises the Cowboys have recovered from, but I think, my big learning lesson has been you don't know how they're going to be when they come back, and it makes it more of an unknown. So Sam Williams right now, unknown. We'll see how he looks. Overshown, fingers crossed, unknown. Diggs, big unknown. From MLZ Videos, I love how most of these streams are you complaining about the Madden BS. Valid, though. If the Madden Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl, would you do the Super Bowl presentation for it? I think I'm able to. I know in the default it's the Chiefs Eagles. I think I can change that and make it Cowboys versus. It's gonna be the Bills. I don't care. We're playing the Bills. I've decided it because that's funny historically. But we do it. Also, you're right. They're bad. It's a bad game. Mighty Ants, can you stop answering Daniel M questions? As I told Mighty Ants in the comments, everybody love everybody. It is fine to disagree on things. It is fine to have different viewpoints. Simply don't commit isms. You know what those are. And you are welcome here at the Cowboys Report. In fact, I would actually argue disagreement is a healthy thing. So it's not an echo chamber here. And in general, if you love the Cowboys, you've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. William Cook, $10, says, great finish. This is on the Madden Sim, which, if you haven't watched our live show, go watch the final 2 minutes of the game itself. Absolute chaos. I am wondering if one reason they haven't signed Micah is that they are waiting for the new fiscal year. Oh. When does the new fiscal year start? Well, it begins October 1st. So probably not. But I will say there has been a long ongoing theory that the Cowboys don't spend more than around $200 million in cash each year on their season. And kind of right about at that figure already. I think that's mostly been blown up by the Lamb and Dak extensions. It's very clever, though. Now, with that said, behind the scenes, we don't operate on a normal fiscal year calendar. Maybe the Cowboys don't. That's actually a very, very clever thought there, William. 4th of July is almost here. You can get your Cowboys 4th of July gear. What better way to represent America's Day than with America's team? The t-shirts you just saw on screen will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys4th. 4th. Again, in the comments and the description of today's show. Steven, are the Jones boys scared of signing people early? I think we can infer from the Jones boys' own comment. They don't believe in making the call first. They don't believe that picking up the phone puts them in a leverage-based position. And they have said they don't think that they should have to pay what other teams pay. They don't think that they are the same. They believe that as the Cowboys, they should get a discount. What has history shown us? They don't get a discount. It's not the same. So, I would like them to be more acknowledging, to be more willing to acknowledge, is the proper verbiage there, of that they are not special anymore. You don't get special treatment. You're the Cowboys. That's awesome. It's not 1997 anymore. You haven't won shit in 30 years now. You just don't get the same treatment. Daniel, I have several cuts to consider. I think we need to cut Clark. Well, let's go. Bass, Jones, maybe Donovan Wilson. So, Damone Clark, I think real chance he's not back at his current cap figure. Well, let's go. I think he's gone. TJ Bass might have trade value. I think you mean Robert Jones, be my guess. His deal's mostly guaranteed. I actually don't know who else makes it on your O-line if you cut both Let's Go, Bass, and Jones, all three of them. Donovan Wilson, I doubt gets cut. You could have cut him 5 months ago and saved the same amount of money. Javonte Johnson, I have us going 13-4 this year. What is your record prediction this season? It's a $10 super chat. Thank you, Javonte. I had him at 10-6, and there is a wide range of outcomes for the Cowboys this year. They could be good. Shoddy could be him. The Cowboys could they could win 12, 13 games and win the NFC East. Or he's bad and the Cowboys win 7 games and we're going, oh no, we're in trouble. So with that in mind, predict the Cowboys record in 2025. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. From Jelly Live, if the Cowboys only make one move for a player who's not on the roster, what position would you want it to be? And any names that are realistic. I will go get a one tech. I don't have a lot of faith in Mozzie Smith and the depth behind him. I would love, realistic names, a nose guard. Is Andrew Billings available? That might be a stretch. I don't think it's going to be friggin' DJ Reader. But I would love a nose guard to help out in a big, big way. Crimson Cowboy. If Luepke is a legitimate short yardage option, he'd be most effective out of the I-4 when he was in college. The only problem is that he's the fullback, so who lead blocks for Luepke? Great question. A tight end? Could you put Brevin Spann forward back there? Could Scoodmaker or like a Princeton Fant do it? I think you raise a good point. Luepke was a weird fullback coming out. Can he handle fullback dives? Has in the Madden Sims, but I think your it's a very good point, Crimson, and one that I don't have a great answer for.